A lot of D&D players quit at least once. Not because they stopped loving it, not because something better replaces it. Usually because of something much quieter. Life changes, schedules break, a relationship ends, a job starts. They have kids, they move. Someone decides they should probably grow up. I can attest to that one personally. If you played D&D long enough, there's a good chance you have a version of this story. You drift away from the game. You tell yourself it was fun, but it belonged to another phase of your life. You pack the books into a box and move on. This video is about why people quit playing D&D and what happens when they come back to the game. You've put D&D behind you, and then, years later, something small happens. You see a set of dice in a store. A new dragon movie comes out that everyone's talking about. You catch yourself thinking about a character you played 20 years ago, and you realize something uncomfortable. You don't actually miss the game, you miss how it made you feel. That's why so many D&D players regret quitting. It's quiet, almost like a thief in the night, and it's not immediate, but it's there. For me, that moment came in the late 1990s. I had just broken up with my girlfriend, moved into my own apartment, and was feeling a little, unanchored. Something about that process made me feel immature in a way, and I decided I should probably start acting like a proper adult, whatever that meant. I had a cardboard box full of my D&D stuff. We're talking original AD&D modules, the iconic 3 core rulebooks, maps I had drawn by hand, dungeons I had been expanding since I was a teenager. It had a literal inch-thick stack of paper that represented years of D&D play and DMing. I looked at that box and decided it didn't fit the version of myself I was trying to become. So I carried it out to the garbage compactor behind my apartment building, opened the thick metal door, and threw the whole thing into the nasty, stinky interior. The door closed with a reproachful clang. I told myself this was what growing up looked like. I almost cried when I got back to my apartment, and I have regretted it ever since. Here's the thing, though. The regret is not just about the books. It's not about the money it cost me to replace them. It's not even about the nostalgia. It's about what D&D does to you while you're playing it. D&D trains you to solve problems. It trains you to plan ahead while adapting on the fly. It trains you to balance structure with creativity. It trains you to pay attention to how people make decisions under pressure. And once your brain learns to do that, it never really unlearns it. If you want to see another video that deals with the psychology of playing D&D, check out What's the Difference Between Teens and Adult D&D Players? I'll link it in the description. This is why people who quit D&D still find themselves doing weird things years later. You'll find yourself guessing the alignment of characters on TV. At work, you'll realize you're planning projects the same way you used to plan campaigns. You might have left the gaming table, but the table doesn't leave you. A lot of players quit because they think D&D is childish. But D&D is not childish, it's playful. Those are not the same thing. Playfulness is how humans experiment with complexity. It's how we rehearse risk without real consequences. It's how we explore identity, leadership, cooperation, and failure in a way that doesn't actually make you bleed. When you quit D&D, you don't replace it, you just remove it. And nothing quite fills that gap. That's why people come back. It's not always the same edition, not always the same style of play, sometimes not even to the same role. But you come back because you realize something important. You didn't outgrow D&D. You outgrew the story you told yourself about what adulthood looks like. That's kind of what happened to me. I've written 4 fantasy novels, and it wasn't until after I'd published the 3rd before I got the itch to get back into the game, figuratively and literally. The plot of my 4th novel was actually playtested in D&D as a campaign. If you've quit D&D and feel a strange, low-grade regret about it, that doesn't mean you made a mistake. It means the game mattered to you in a way you didn't fully understand at the time. And if you're still playing, it's worth noticing how rare that is. Not the game itself, but the kind of thinking it invites. Before I go on, I have a suggestion. If this kind of thinking is useful to you, click like and subscribe. That's how these videos find the people they're meant for. And thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. D&D has problems. Every edition does. The companies behind them do. The culture does. None of that changes the core truth. We're still talking about it. We're still thinking about it. Some of us are still designing games, writing stories, and building worlds decades later. That doesn't happen by accident. A lot of D&D players quit once. Most of them regret it. And most of them, if they're honest, are still rolling the dice in their head even when the table is long gone. So my advice is have fun, stay cool, and keep your dice rolling.